Hi, I'm Sayojita. Today I'm going to make chicken shakuti for you. Shakuti is a spicy gravy from Goa made with roasted ingredients, coconut, but of course, whole spices and onions and other seasonings. It has a wonderful smoky flavor, is dairy-free and is not very rich at all. Perfect for everyday home-style meals. Like this one I'm having. My chicken shakuti right there. A quick cucumber and tomato salad and ragi dosa. It took just about 40 odd minutes to prepare. Most of the time is cooking the chicken itself, which is unavoidable for any chicken gravy. What makes this seemingly complex gravy so simple to prepare? It is my shakuti gravy spice mix. I keep a stock of it in my refrigerator and I can make any kind of shakuti whenever I feel like. Chicken shakuti, mutton shakuti, mixed vegetable shakuti, mushroom and pea shakutis, and egg shakuti or egg curry. For those of you who may not be very familiar with shakuti as a gravy, I have a whole video on mixed vegetable shakuti made from scratch. That means without using the spice mix. I think it will be helpful for you to take a look at that one. And I've also put in the description box the procedure to make chicken or mutton shakuti without using the spice mix. No video there, but the instructions are there, and with all these 3 videos you should be all set to make any kind of shakuti. Well, let's get started with this one then. Let's quickly look at the ingredients. They're rather simple for a relatively complex gravy. Chicken, of course, and we are making shakuti for 1 kg of chicken. The shakuti spice mix, the most important ingredient today. A little bit of onion, green chilies, garlic and ginger, coconut oil or any other. Coconut milk is optional. And then in terms of spices, turmeric, chili powder, salt, fresh coriander, which I haven't shown, and you may also use coriander powder and cumin powder. That is also optional. If you have seen the mixed vegetable shakuti video, you may recall that the first step in making a shakuti is to make the gravy base. In this case, where we have the spice mix, we are going to skip that step altogether and jump straight to step number 2, which is seasoning and cooking the main ingredient, in this case the chicken. I will point out, however, that if you're making a meat shakuti from scratch, that is without the spice mix, it would be more efficient to switch steps 1 and 2. That is, cook the meat first or set the meat to cook first and then make the gravy base, that is roasting the ingredients and grinding it into a paste. Usually meats take a while to cook, and during that time you can easily roast your gravy base and possibly even cool it and make the paste. That will be the best way to do this. Happily, today we don't have to worry about that. We are going to go straight to seasoning the chicken and then putting it all together. By the way, the same procedure can be used for mutton too. First, I'm going to quickly chop these seasoning ingredients: onion, garlic, green chilies and coriander. And today I'm going to use this handy dandy chopper. I don't like to chop the ginger. I prefer it in grated or paste form. If you want, you can also use garlic paste and green chili paste. Everything needs to be finely chopped. But it's not a big deal chopping by hand either, because we don't need a lot. Most of the onion is in the spice mix. We just need a little bit to be tempered. I'm just going to coarsely chop the onions and put everything in the chopper. A few tugs. And voila, it's done. Chopped so fine, you can't even tell the onion and garlic apart. Now we are ready to braise the meat. I'm using my 4-liter stainless steel pot on medium heat. Being a dish from Goa, I'm going to use coconut oil, but you can use any. As I mentioned in the very beginning, this is not a rich gravy. It's not going to be swimming in oil like a lot of the meat gravies you see. If you are using oil which is liquid at room temperature, as are most oils, You will need a little more than I have used because my coconut oil is solid right now. The weather is a little cool. When the oil is hot, add in the chopped seasonings, onion, garlic, green chilies and coriander, and then the grated ginger. Toss for a minute or two and add turmeric powder. There is no need to add any chili powder because we've added green chilies, but you can substitute chili powder for green chilies, or if you want a really spicy Xacuti, you can add both. Remember, we've added red chilies in the spice mix. And then a little bit of coriander powder and cumin powder. These are optional too. And salt. And next, we have to add the chicken. I have used chicken drumsticks, but you can use thighs or the whole chicken curry cut. Actually, traditionally, this is what is used because it's cut into medium or smaller pieces. Since my pieces are relatively large and we are not really marinating them, I have made deep gashes into them to allow the spices and seasonings to penetrate. They will also take a little bit longer to cook than the smaller pieces. Toss for 5 to 7 minutes until all the pieces are no longer pink and are coated with the seasonings. I've kept the flame quite high. Nowadays, the chicken cooks relatively quickly. Takes 20-25 minutes, but still that is relatively quickly. The traditional country chickens used to take a long time, and there it was important to cut the chicken in small pieces. I'm adding a little bit of water right now because I can see that the seasonings are burning a bit. Later on, we'll add more water. By the way, as I mentioned, you'll use the same procedure for mutton. The cook time will be longer. And you can choose to either slow cook the mutton or pressure cook the mutton. I usually prefer to pressure cook the mutton. I don't think it makes a lot of difference to the flavor. And so I just start off in my pressure cooker itself because I can cook directly in the pressure cooker. I don't need the saucepan in that case. That's good. Now we can add water, just enough to allow the chicken to cook. Remember, the chicken will also release its juices as it cooks. If you are not using the spice mix to make this Xacuti, you can roast all the ingredients for the gravy base while the meat is cooking. The chicken will be on for about 25 to 30 minutes and mutton for 40 minutes at least. That should give enough time to roast everything and maybe cool it, and grinding doesn't take very long at all. Put a lid on it and cook until the meat is almost done, but just leave a little bit for cooking the meat with the gravy. Okay, I'm just checking on the chicken a couple of minutes later. It looks good. There is enough water for it to cook by itself. I'm going to close the vent because we do not want the chicken juices to dry out. Keep it on low heat and just let it stay there. It's about 18 minutes later and you can see that the liquid has increased considerably because the chicken has released its juices. And it is almost ready for the spice mix. I'm going to mix my Xacuti spice mix in hot water. I'm using 1 cup for starters, but however, I do reserve the right to add some more later. Now, you can make this paste 15-20 minutes ahead of time. Add it in and gently mix. The chicken pieces are well cooked, so they will be rather delicate and we do not want them to break. I'm going to serve this Xacuti with pav bread, and so I need some more gravy for the pav to soak up. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of spice mix with 1 cup of water. Let it all come to a nice boil, then simmer until the gravy is homogeneous. And just cover the pot for a couple of minutes. 5 minutes later, the gravy is nice and smooth. This is a good time to adjust the seasoning, salt or chili powder. If you feel like your gravy needs a little more of the other spices, you can just add a little bit of garam masala. I'm going to add some coconut milk. This is an optional ingredient. I like to add it to give the gravy a little bit of creaminess. Because the Xacuti spice mix is made of desiccated coconut and we have removed all the moisture from it. So the coconut milk kind of softens the texture. However, it's not a requirement, and you can choose to skip it, because by the time we sort of simmer everything in the chicken juices, it does get soft. I have added tamarind in my spice mix, so I'm not adding any now, but you can add a little paste at this point if you need a little more acidity. Alternately, you can serve your Xacuti with lemon on the side, because not everybody likes it to be really sour. And my Xacuti is done. These were bigger pieces, so it has taken about 30 minutes to cook the chicken. But now it looks perfect. Soft and juicy. Almost, but not quite falling off the bone. That is how we want it. There's that characteristic smoky aroma in the air. I'm going to turn it off and let it rest before serving. I'm going to serve my Xacuti with pav, the traditional Goan bread, a cool banana raita to balance the spiciness of the gravy, and a carrot halwa for dessert. Sliced onion is a must as an accompaniment, and lemon, of course. I'm serving out a plate now, and we need enough gravy for the pav to soak up. I have timed the pav to be out of the oven just in time to serve my Xacuti. And here they are. Soft on the inside and slightly crisp on the top. You can also serve a Xacuti with rice, dosa or roti. You did see me having a meal of Xacuti with dosa. That ends my series on Xacuti for now, at least. Armed with these 3 videos, mixed vegetable Xacuti from scratch, the Xacuti gravy spice mix, and this shortcut chicken Xacuti, you should be able to make any Xacuti that you feel like, no problem. I'm going to leave you with my playlist on non-vegetarian gravies of all kinds. Do take a look. I think you will find it useful. And I'll see you soon. Until then, happy cooking and thank you for watching.